Hare Krishna. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. So we'll just continue our discussion on Prabhupada's purport. This is seventh chapter. We have completed till six shlokas. So these are the seed verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. These three verses from this seventh chapter. I will just again read for you. Now Vyas Maharshi, he started meditating. This is a very important understanding how we can meditate. Meditation is not a very simple process. Why it was not possible? Why it is not possible in Kali Yuga also? Without meditating, we cannot experience the higher truths. Without meditating, concentrating, we cannot understand also and experience also. Both is not possible. Now we have to see, like, if a person is affected by mode of passion and ignorance, there is no chance of meditation only. This is very important. We need to come to mode of goodness to experience something higher. And calmness of mind is actually peace, and then we can achieve the real happiness. Otherwise, generally, what is happiness in this world is when a mind is agitated and suddenly it becomes calm, you feel certain type of happiness. Like, I'm very, very thirsty. From last 3 hours, I didn't get water and I'm very thirsty. There is agitation in the mind. Suddenly, if you get the water, I feel little calmness. If the pleasure is there I feel little pleasure in that water. If pleasure is there in water, water should always give pleasure, but it does not give. The calmness which I experience in the vibration that are happening, alpha, beta, gamma rays, what scientists say, neuropsychology, that is actually what is considered as a pleasure. So that is the reason meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex, gambling, all these things are agitations. So now if there are people who have so much money, so many facilities, opulences, what happens is, for them, they continue to remain in passion, because these things will definitely, most of the people will get affected by, because they have so much money. What Narada Muni tells in Nalkor Manigrav story, people have money, they become proud, they start killing animals. They want to eat and they want to enjoy in different ways. Especially people who are very stinkingly rich, their mind is always agitated with all these things. They cannot experience that peace. That's why Kunti Maharani also says, Janma Ishwara Sutta Sri Biryada Manavala. So it is very, very important for us to understand how it is important to make our mind peaceful. Early morning we meditate on the holy name, which is the most important thing. Now, if we are seeing some people are celebrities or some rich people and all, they're getting so many name, fame, followers. But reality is what? It is agitating their mind, and then they they get some calmness after that agitation is over. Say their movie is released or they are getting something. So some sort of kick comes, which is not actually the real happiness what we need to experience. Here, Vyasa Maharshi is showing why he is going to river Saraswati and on the bank of Saraswati is meditating, because this is the highest way of achieving the happiness. This is the highest happiness we can achieve when we make our mind calm. So Krishna is also very clearly telling, Shantasya kutasukam. Without Shanti, how can you attain Sukha? That means more we have, more there will be agitation. Unless somebody is really self-controlled or he's absorbed in something high, even whatever material comes and goes, it does not affect. For him, no problem. If he gets like King Pratap Rudra or Ambarish Mother, whatever material things and come go, it is not registering in his consciousness. For him, no problem. If it registers in our consciousness items, then immediately it affects us. Yeah, it is. So it is registering consciousness. It immediately affects the consciousness. The person will not gain anything high. He just stuck up. That's why Kunti Maharani is saying there is no possibility of meditation. by like this. We need to people who are completely absorbed in higher things, like Parikshit Maharaj here we'll see, even though he is going to get so much material opulence, is not affected by it. He is already Vishnu Rath. He is already absorbed in the Supreme Lord. For him, it does not make any difference. That is why. For us, the purpose of life is to meditate. Dhyayam sada paribhavitagna abhishtadoham. That Lord who is appearing to help us meditate on him. Who is he? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we have Satyam Param Dhimahi. Dhimahi is meditate. And the purpose of all the Vedic literature is to help us meditate only. Smartavya Satatam Vishnu Misattavya Najachit. Sarva Vidhi Nishedashu Edayor. Oh, only thing. No? Manmana Bhava. Oh, meditate on the Lord. So that is the main instruction. Even materially also, if somebody want to experience happiness at a higher level, if he is very absorbed in a meditative mode, in his activity also he can experience something like that. So here Vyasdev is meditating, and then Bhakti Yogena Manasi Samyak Pranite Amale Pashyam Purusham Purnam Mayam Chadapashyam. So he, in the process of linking his mind, Samyak Pranite Amale, so is free from all impurities. In the transcendental state, his mind is fixed. Then he could see the absolute truth along with external energy, which is under his full control. And then yes, Aya Sammohito, then he sees about the living entities. Aya Sammohito Jivo Atmanam Tiratma Parope Monate Anartham Tatkatam Chapi Padyate. So these living entities, their product, they are thinking himself as a material product and thus undergo the reactions of material miseries. This is actually what is happening to the living entities. And then what is the solution he gives? Okay, these are the Maya, this is Krishna, and living entities are unnecessarily caught up in this world. So Vyasa Maharshi, out of his compassion, Anartha Upasamam Sakshat Bhakti Yoga Madhokshaja. So to get out of all these anarthas, Bhakti Yoga Madhokshaja. The solution he understood is Bhakti Yoga. Now, what is the this is the easiest solution he understood. Instead of giving them karma, jnana, and yoga, he said better give the easiest solution. Lokasya janato vidwan chakre sastu samhita. And mass of people do not know. Therefore, Lord Vyasdev compiled this Vedic literature, which is in relation with to Chakre Shashvata Samhita. So, Chakra is compiled, Shashvata, in relation with the supreme truth. This Vedic literature, Samhita. So, he has compiled this Vedic literature, which is the only solution for all the living entities suffering. So, these are the important verses we have seen. Now, there is one more important verse. Yasyam Vaisruya Manayam Krishne Paramapurushe Bhaktirutpadyate Pumsa Shoka Moha Bhayapaha. Simply by giving oral reception to this Vedic literature, the feeling for loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. So, this is not possible in any other literature, even though there are, because what happens is there is, like what we discussed just now, that there is mixture of other karma, jnana, and yoga in other literature, which is not there in Srimad Bhagavatam. Anybody reads, he is directly going to get the highest message, which is like direct, pure access. There is no other contamination in this. That is the advantage with Srimad Bhagavatam in relation with any other literatures. Other literatures, there may be some contamination, but Bhagavatam is like a flight. No traffic jams, no signals, no deviations. You directly land up in the highest realm. That is the advantage without any contaminations. There are various senses of which the ear is the most effective. This sense works even when a man is deep asleep. One can protect himself from the hands of an enemy while awake, but while asleep, one is protected by the ear only. The importance of hearing is mentioned here in connection with attaining the highest perfection of life, namely getting free from three material pangs. Everyone is full of lamentation at every moment. He is after the mirage of illusory things, and he is always afraid of his supposed enemy. These are the primary symptoms of the material disease, and it is definitely suggested herein that simply by hearing the message of Srimad Bhagavatam, one gets attachment for the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, and as soon as this is affected, the symptoms of the material disease disappear. Srila Vyasadeva saw the all perfect personality of Godhead, and in this statement, it is clear personality of Godhead is Sri Krishna. And what Prabhupada is telling in this purport is we want to get rid of three things: shoka, moha, and bhaya, lamentation, illusion, and fear. All these things are because of this ignorance we have, which is causing us to get attached to the material pleasures, wrong identification. And because what happens is when we are attached, there is a force that takes away us from this attachment what we have in this material world. Sure. And then because of which we start lamentation. What happens is, say I am attached to certain things, but the things in this material world are constantly changing only. Even the people we are attached, parents are attached to the children, they are very small, but the children don't remain small. That is the problem. When they grow, then the same amount of reciprocation you don't get from the elder people. But I'm attached to that child, but now he's grown up, he has mustache and beard also. So then you don't feel, that child will say he cannot have that same reciprocation. So then it's a problem. Like a person gets married, and then after 10 years, the married partner is changed in terms mind changes and body changes, and because both of the thing change, you feel, I didn't marry this person. He was a different person 10 years back. And that is the reason there are divorce. They have a love marriage, and then after marriage some time happens, and then they say, I didn't marry this person. I married somebody else only. What happened? The body and mind changed, body dimension change, mind also change. Then they go for divorce, like that. That is the problem. If we are going for material things, there is always lamentation and illusion. We all know how there is so much illusion when it comes to advertisements or anything. There are so much advertisement in the Vedic literature, so much advertisement in the present social media to all this entertainment industry. This is the greatest illusion. What is the illusion? That these things will give me happiness, but matter cannot give happiness to spirit, because it is temporary. That is why. Otherwise, if it is Satchidananda, soul is Satchidananda, matter is Satchidananda, it can give pleasure. But this is Asat, Niranand, Achit. That is why it cannot give. But illusion is, there is always a hope that maybe this item, when a person gets a car, the car can give happiness. The car can give happiness, but how long? Only 3 days. That's all. After that, it cannot give, because it is not Satchidananda. Car is not Satchidananda. It gives some initially for few days, max 3, 4, or maybe 1 month. After that, it will not give the same pleasure. Now, initially somebody has house, you take the house and you purchased, and for few months you are very happy, oh, nice house, and you try to take care of everything. Then after some time, the same pleasure don't come. When you are in the first 1 month of that, the house don't give pleasure. After some, it becomes little burden. Array, why my house is little small? This part is not very good. This should be little big. Balcony should be big. Maybe location should be different, or ventilation should be more. And the same house may start giving trouble. Say, I want a new house, or something like that. Or we don't even care about it. There is no more pleasure. This is actually what happens. So then then there is this is illusion is gone. Same illusion, you know. And here the question is, what is called a change in the mind? Body changes, that we all understand. Mind also changes. Like children, they think in a different way. When they are in youth, they think in a different way because the association they get is different. And when we grow up in middle ages, the thought process is different. In old age, completely they're all so much in anxiety. Mind, because mind also associates with modes of mental nature, things around. Mind also starts acquiring the effect. It affects the mind, and because of which we start behaving in a start thinking in a particular way, behaving in a particular way, like that. Now we are associating with devotees. So what happens? Our mind is changing now. It knows this is important, this is not important. The priorities were different for us, now they are different. The way we think is different now. Previously it was different because we are associating. So mind always associates with metal nature and starts changing itself. That's why mind also changes for so many people. And they say, "Are you are so loving and caring." Now you become a different person. You are very selfish now. All these things happens. There is it's a big different discussion of relation, but the point is there is a change. And illusion is because of this, that there is always a hope that these things will give me happy. And fearfulness is because when we are losing something we are attached to, there is always a fear. If the object of our the force that is uh, bigger than me, more powerful than me, I cannot do anything. The force is little less, I become angry. Like on children, we can become angry if they don't do, because we are powerful to them. But if something coming from above, then we are fearful. Otherwise, we are angry. So these are the problems which living entity face. And this is when we hear, we can come out of it. That's what is Vyas Maharshi is telling. Just hear Srimad Bhagavatam, you will be free from lamentation, illusion, and fear. The ultimate, uh, yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, in His Grace Radhesham Prabhu's lecture, I had heard that, for example, if I am very lazy and I want to come out from laziness, then if we read Bhagavatam, then that Nashtapraya means that laziness will come out. And then I have seen in my own personal life also that I was a very, very lazy person. Means to pick up a glass of water also from the table and put it in the kitchen. My mother used to do it for me. But then as soon as I started hearing Bhagavatam, all the senses became very active, and immediately they started acting in their own original, you can say, state. Still, they were not purified, but as in when you keep on hearing consistently Bhagavatam, then I was praying to Lord, I'm very lazy. I want to get out of laziness. And yeah, now that laziness effect, I'm still lazy. I'm not saying that I'm completely rid of laziness, but yes, to a great extent laziness is also, reduced,
Yeah.
like, so my personal experience from
Yeah,
Bhagavad.
that is true. Because what happens is the mode of ignorance is so heavy. That is the cause. Body does not allow the body to perform, and we'll be able to free from such conditionings. That is the Nashtapraya Shabadresh is definitely correct with Bhagavatam. There are so many conditionings we have. We have conditioning with passion also, so much with name and fame, so much for possessions and all. That will also go slowly, and this laziness also will go, but it may take time from different people different. So the others should not get discouraged. It is not happening to me, it will happen for everyone. They'll all be free from all these things, and we'll be free from all conditions of our body, and we'll attain spiritual world. The ultimate result of thank you for sharing this. The ultimate result of devotional service is to develop genuine love for the supreme personality. Love is a word which is often used in relation with man and woman. The love is only word that can between Lord Krishna and the living entities. The living entities are mentioned as Prakriti in the Bhagavad Gita, and in Sanskrit, Prakriti is a feminine object. The Lord is always described as Parava Purusha, or the supreme male personality. Thus, the affection between the Lord and the living entity is something like the like that between male and female. Therefore, the term love of Godhead is quite appropriate. Love is between only supreme and living entities. Loving devotional service to the Lord begins with hearing about the Lord. There is no difference between the Lord and the subject matter heard about him. The Lord is absolute in all respects, and thus there is no difference between him and the subject matter heard about him. Therefore, hearing about him means immediate contact with him by the process of vibration on the transcendental sound. The transcendental sound is so effective that it acts at once by removing all material affections mentioned above. As mentioned before, a living entity develops a sort of complexity by material association, and the illusory engagement of mental body is accepted as an actual fact. Under such false complexity, the living being under different categories of life become illusioned in different ways. Even in the most developed stage of human life, the same illusion prevails in the form of many isms and divides the loving relation with the Lord, and thereby divides the loving relation between man and man. By hearing the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam, all complexity of materialism is removed, and the real peace in the society begins with politicians aspire for so eagerly, which politicians aspire for so eagerly, and so many political situations, and in so many political situations. The politicians want a peaceful situation between man and nation, but at the same time, because of too much attachment for material domination, there is illusion and fearfulness. So now what Prabhupada is trying to say is that under the false complexity, the living beings under different categories of life become illusioned. Because of that illusion only, we start identifying ourselves differently. So now I say I'm Hindu, somebody says they are Christian, they are Islam. So we have these false isms because of false conceptions. We are not able to see the universal truth. That is the reason we are seeing the differences. We say this I belong to this. We fight is based on language also. This language is better than that language. It is only a means language. People fight on the color. They say this color people are better than that color. People fight based on uh, nation. This country is better than that nation. Why it is better? You also have same houses, same brick, same cement. They also have, but no, my country is only better. My country people are better. Why? Because I belong to it. So this is the false conception. How it is possible? He is also human being. You are also human being. No. Still, human being on this part of the border are better than that part of that line. So just one you make a line and you fight based on that line, and then same thing with color also. How it matters? In India only we have so many color. No, this color is better than that color, and this language is, for no reason people are fighting. That is the problem. And same thing with the caste also. Like, if somebody is doing farming, how a farmer says your farmers are better, not the carpenters. Farmers will fight with carpenters. Both are doing their job, but no, I am doing a better job, you are not doing a better job. So this is how the false conceptions are leading to propagating illusion and fearfulness. It is very difficult to conceive why people fight. Yeah, because we identify ourselves to a specific country or color, we develop pride and we are attached and assume to be best. Yeah, that is the secret. So when Lord created us, in Arabic they have this saying, Lord said in this ears, you are the best, and he told not to tell anyone, and he told to everyone the same secret. And then everybody thinks, because my country is best, my language is best, my state is best within the country also, and then my caste is best, my colors are best. Whatever is everything, we are only best. So Therefore, the politicians' peace conference cannot bring any peace in society. It can only be done by hearing the subject matter described in the Srimad Bhagavatam about the Supreme Personality of God Sri Krishna. Foolish politicians may go on holding peace and summit conferences for hundreds of years, but they will fail to achieve success. Why? Until we reach the stage of re-establishing our lost relationship with Krishna, the illusion of accepting the body as a self will prevail, and thus fearfulness will also prevail. Now, because you accept the body, you are afraid of the enemy. We consider others as enemy and we are fearful. As for the validity of Sri Krishna, there are hundreds and thousands of evidences from revealed scriptures, and there are hundreds and thousands of evidences from the personal experience of devotees in various places like Vrindavan, Navadip, and Puri. Even in the Kaumudi dictionary, the symptoms of Krishna are given as the son of Yashoda and the supreme personality of God at Parabrahma. The conclusion is that simply by hearing uh, the Vedic literatures, Srimad Bhagavatam, one can have direct connection with the supreme personality of God, Sri Krishna, and thereby one can attain the highest perfection of life by transcending worldly miseries, illusion, and fearfulness. These are the practical tests for one who has actually given a submissive hearing to the readings of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, only condition is submissive oral receptions to be able to come out of our false misidentification with the body and things related to it, and then we'll be able to come out of fearfulness, illusion, and lamentation. This is what Prabhupada is trying to make us understand in this purport. So the next, this is there are some very important shlokas of this chapter. So previous one was very important, and 10th one is also very important. We'll see. Hope we will try to touch 10th, but we'll not be able to. uh, 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 that is a very important shloka. So samhitam bhagavati kritvanukarma चात्मजं सुखम अध्यापयामासा निवृत्ता nitaram muni. The great sage Vyasdev, after compiling the Srimad Bhagavatam and revising it, taught it to his own son, Srila Sukadeva Goswami, who was already engaged in self-realization. So here starts the main characters of our Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. Now there will be description about them. So till now, Vyas Maharshi's and Narada Muni story is complete. So I told three prakaranas, Sutta Goswami, Saunaka Rishis, Vyasdeva and Narada Muni, and now Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. This starts. But Sukadeva Goswami is just for few verses, and then Parikshit Maharaj enters for the remaining till 19 chapters from 7th onwards. And there are three themes of Bhagavatam: appearance of Bhagavatam, the qualification of the hearer, third thing is about Kali. So these are the three main themes of first canto Bhagavatam. So we should understand. Now till now we have this is successfully Bhagavatam appeared. How did Bhagavatam appear? And what circumstances? How did Vyas Maharshi wrote? Everything is clearly explained. So along with all other incarnations, Bhagavatam is also one of the incarnations of the Lord. Here, what circumstances, what inspired Vyas Maharshi? So till now, we got the answers for it with this conversation. Now, what is most important is we need to always know the structure. Knowing structure and studying Bhagavatam is studying in mode of goodness. Bhagavad Sapta, 7-day Bhagavad Sapta people conduct. It is mode of passion. It is of, if it is done for money, if the speaker is taking money, no need of hearing. You have no benefit is achieved by such hearing from people who take money and speak Bhagavatam. It is almost useless. And the people, because there are two conditions, he should be Bhagavat Pradhana and Sushrushaha. So the speaker should be very Bhagavat Pradhana. He should be qualified to glorify the Supreme Lord, and the hearer should be eager to hear about him. Then only there will be some effect. Otherwise, it is not going to make any difference. That is a very important criteria. Yes, Madhaj.
Prabhuji, what if somebody is just chanting 7, 8 rounds and then he's a very big kathakar, but he's only chanting 7 to 8 rounds. But if you hear his kathas, they are very very. Of course, they are not heart transforming, but they are very captivating. And there are so many hundreds and thousands of people who come to listen to him. And he means he's my own family member, so that's why I know very personally, because my Babi was telling that he is not so much interested in chanting. He chants only 7, 8 rounds, but he's more interested in reading Prabhupada's Bhagavatam, Tikas of other this, and then he gives his own katha. Then what is, how does this, formulate, Prabhuji? Means I was understanding that how far this will go, or how Krishna accepts this type of devotional service. He will not charge anything. He will not take money, because whatever money comes, he will tell, give a check in the name of ISKCON only. So that also he will not do. But the main of my main this confusion is that he's chanting only 7, 8 rounds. Where is he getting that potency of speaking Bhagavatam so wonderfully?
If somebody's Mercury is very strong, he is a good speaker. Like
Guru.
not only
Mercury means Guru.
no, Mercury is
Shukra.
Shukra.
Maybe. Okay.
So one of the whatever planet
Okay. Whatever planet. Yeah.
somebody has. So like we have outside also, if you see, not devotees, non-devotees also, very good speakers of, and there are many people who are good kathakars. They may not chant also. They are very good kathakars. So this is a natural talent they get. Some of the disciples are more talented than their guru in speaking also. Guru may not be big kathakar, but his disciple is a big kathakar. Not that he has more realization than Guru, but he has that ability to present things in a such a way which is captivating people and looking more attractive. So this is not based on bhakti. This is based on material talent, and he has that ability to, like previously, like yesterday I was telling my friend is a pandit. His wife left his body. He is a very very good scholar. He can present. He writes poems in just in like drinking water. So fractions of seconds he can write very very wonderful poems. So people are such talented. That is not actually that is not based on amount of bhakti. It is just their material abilities. And when it comes to chanting, if he's chanting 7, 8 rounds, that means he has not yet sufficiently developed that faith on the holy name. He's not convinced that if I the purpose of all this hearing reading is ultimately to chant the holy name, because that is the Hare Nama Eva Kevalam. If somebody is just heard little bit of Bhagavatam and is sitting and continuously chanting, that means he got more realization, and especially with the holy name. And that is what is the perfection. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to give the holy name. We read Bhagavatam, and but ultimately the more powerful method what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is recommended, even Chaitanya Charitamrita also, Taramadhye Shrestha Nama Sankirtan. Of all the process of devotion, Nam Sankirtan is stressed. He may be doing katha, but somebody is chanting. He is much more developed faith, and he can make more advancement fast. This person, he is also making advancement undoubtedly, and he will also ultimately come to the stand of 16 notes one day. that's that's how it happens.
Yeah, slowly, slowly he will come. Yeah, so because we are family, Prabhuji, we will always think good for our own family members. And
He will also come to 16 notes one day.
yeah, this was my main worry. Oh, why is he not chanting 16 rounds? And one fear also we have, no, because what if even we go into that situation, that fear is there always. That no, we don't want to go in this situation, because we have this knowledge. Many times we have knowledge, but sometimes Maya is so bewildering that it pulls us also strongly down. So I was trying to understand, for example, even if I come into any time this position, then what I should be doing in this, like, because Maya very fearful from Prabhuji. Maya very, I get very scared of Maya because Maya can attack anytime from anywhere. So I was
That
trying
is very
to.
much true. Yes. Little name and fame. Like I was telling, there are big, big gurus who, when they started their movement, they had very good intentions. But now, once they get followers, money, and little women and all, immediately everything changes for them. When they started, most of them start with very good intentions. All these big, big, famous, you are seeing gurus and all. Now there are so many controversies over them. But when they started with good. But Maya is so powerful. Once they give money, little fame and finish. We cannot control. That's why we always need to have association of devotees. Pranadapisuni Chaina is so very important. We have to have somebody always above us. We should have equal association. Otherwise, it is very easy to get carried away with all these things which Maya gives. Maya knows where our weakness is there, and she will hit there and make sure that a person remains in this material world. Yeah, that is true.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Next. Kalpana Mataji.
Adding to your point, Prabhuji, what Krishna Rupa Mataji was telling, I do not know the person whom she's referring to. She's telling it's a family member. But what do I understand in that aspect? Because we also had one example like that. As per what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, the three requirements, Jiva Daya, Vaishnava Seva, and the chanting of holy name, these are the priorities. If a person, there are two aspects we need to understand. If a person who is surrendered to a guru, that he understands what my guru expects from me becomes a priority. The guru expects to chant 16 notes, even though it might not be giving pleasure to the individual, the Jivatma, but the guru wants it, Krishna wants it, so he will chant. That comes a commitment when there is a surrender. Second thing, why there is a lot of ruchi in Krishna Katha rather than chanting means he has not, as you said, he has not sufficiently developed the taste for hearing the holy name, and he has not developed that much faith, not acquired that much substantial conviction to give priority to the holy name as the Krishna Katha, because he has developed the taste. He has some self desire, or what he has that what you call liking towards Bhagavatam rather the holy name. That leads to more of the, we have seen so many devotees are more interested in kirtan, more interested, they neglect the chanting part. Why? Because the lack of taste. So that's what I understood in those person ki once they are not surrendered or not taken the shelter of guru, and the other thing is they are not developed enough sufficient taste for, they might be good in many other things, expert in that, but you can see the chanting count, they will keep on keep on adding up for the next day. They will not give priorities to be chanted in the morning. These things happens, Prabhuji. That's, I don't know, with my little intelligence, I understood these things with few devotees who I'm very close to. That could be the reason, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, we cannot make any judgment, Mataj, unless we personally know them. Na? We cannot make any statements. We may feel for ourselves, but if comes somebody, not that we should remain sentimental also. Everybody's devotee. But we cannot say that he's not surrendered. We may be surrendered more than us also. Like he may have more faith than us also, but his conditions are very strong, which is making him not to do. That is also some of the reasons. Say, I have somebody has faith 80, and his conditioning is 120. Then his vehicle looks going, the conditioning are very strong. Say his condition is 60 and his faith is 80, faith 40, conditioning maybe 10. Then I may be looking going 30 and he is looking 20, but his faith may be more. So we cannot make a standard. We may only have amount of person has. And whatever principles you told, na, they are all very right. They are right only. In the sense, people they are in this state. We have to know. We have to surrender to Guru, and we have to do what Guru wants. And if their taste for holy name For Kirtan, it is there. Let them chant Kirtan slowly, because they are, instead of singing movie songs, they are doing Kirtan only. We should appreciate that. And instead of doing any other katha and making money, they are doing about Krishna and serving the society. We should appreciate that. Remove some conditions of people, it's a fraction of time. In one fine day, he will get some great realization by Krishna, and he will give up everything, sincerely chant, and within 1 month he can go back to Godhead also. So we can never say what will click for some person in what moment. And just 1 month before their death, they sincerely chanted, and when they were leaving the body, they know it. We have only know principles, but we should not apply on them. We know this is right, this is wrong, and for them we should know maybe they may have, but it should not happen to me. That's all. Yes, Gorangupi.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dhanyavad Pranam. Prabhu, I just wanted to ask, I don't know whether it's relevant to the topic we are discussing now, because we see in Vrindavan, there are not, I don't know whether they are devotees or non-devotees, I cannot comment, but we see people, devotees going around Govardhan Parikrama, they do Dandavat Parikrama and all, but they are not practicing any sadhana. I've heard that there are so many people, they go to Govardhan Parikrama thrice a year, 4 times a year, or so many things like that. So how do you define their bhakti, Prabhu? I mean, sometimes we are practicing everything, whatever told, but I feel I don't have faith like what they have, so much love they have for Krishna. So I just wanted to ask you about that.
Some devotees may also do Mataji, but that is not what is, if your Guru Maharaj is recommending, then only do. Otherwise, what happens now? Sometimes we see greatest offense we can do now when we are closest. And we should also, unless we are qualified, we should not go so close also. That is another problem. Say, I am staying with my Guru only in the same house. Then there's so much possibility of becoming familiar and committing offenses. So, especially people who stay in so close and in Vrindavan and all, there are so much dangers like that. This is one part. That means we have to be very careful, and especially these things, this type of worship, this type of Dandavat and all, unless our Guru tells us, we need not do. I never saw my Guru Maharaj or my Siksha Guru doing it. I feel that is not needed. We have to just do parikrama and the holy name. What happens, Mataji? Like for us, process is very simple. We need not make it complicated. If you want to get rid of, here very clearly it is told. If you want to get rid of anarthas, what we have to do? We have to hear. If you want to get rid of hearing what? Hearing the holy name, hearing Bhagavatam. Now, what about Dandavat Parikrama? Dandavat Parikrama is like deity worship. You are at home, you are having a deity, you serve the deity, do abhishekam to the deity, and take care of deity nicely. You will get all the benefit. And what is Dandavat Parikrama? Dandavat Parikrama is also basically deity worship only. Govardhan is deity. I am offering obeisances to deity. And what is their mode? That if I ask him again and again and again, one day he will be pleased. Like say somebody comes to you and requests, please help me, please help me, please help me. If he asks you 100 times, you will feel okay. He's asking so much. Our heart will melt and we want to give. So same thing they feel for Govardhan. If I ask him so many times, I offer him Dandavat, maybe he will be pleased and he will give mercy to me. And we need not do Dandavat. Means for us, we can do Dandavat at home also. 2 times every day you Dandavat, pray to Govardhan, after Dandavat at your home, and eventually you will complete. Generally, it takes 1 week. 1 week of Dandavat, you will complete Govardhan Dandavat Parikrama. It is the average time. Now we can do every day at home, Dandavat to Govardhan. From your home, and Govardhan will accept, and he will accept your prayers. You can read Govardhana Dashaka Stotra every day, and Govardhan will accept. No need of doing it separately. It will work from here also. Because what happens is we may commit offenses if we go
So
too close.
it is something similar to attending a Bhagavad Saptaha, and I mean, keep on hearing the pastimes of the Lord. Though you're not practicing any sadhana, one day you will be purified.
That is also sadhana, na?
That's what Prabhu, like how you're told,
It is
worshipping
not
over.
see, wait a minute.
It's not
It
a
is not a
shortcut. I
shortcut.
understood. Okay.
See, it is not that one day you do Govardhan Dandavat Parikrama and you made shortcut and your ticket is guaranteed. No. Even you do Dandavat Parikrama years and years, process is you have to consciously chant, consciously hear Bhagavatam, consciously make an endeavor to develop a relationship. We are not able to do it. No matter how many Dandavat Parikrama we do, our body only gets a little pain, may not get much benefited. If you bring a very powerful bodybuilder or somebody who's healthy, a sports person, you tell him to make, he may make 3.5 days Dandavat Parikrama, but he will not get much. Conscious is not there. What Lord needs not Dandavat Parikrama. What Lord needs our love. He needs our emotions. He needs our devotion. That is more
Okay.
important. If you can sincerely chant at home, you'll get more benefit than Dandavat Parikrama also.
So something like, I mean, people want to hear Bhagavatam in just 7 days and just be pious.
It's like that.
Okay.
Shortcuts.
Yeah. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Right. Shyam Mukund,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhuji, my question is regarding morning Srimad Bhagavatam class.
Yeah.
So Prabhuji, the discussion was going like that one who does devotion and falls down. Like you also mentioned many times, we are not in the Nishta stage. So we may fall down. Then again we get human birth. But Prabhu, I have heard that one who falls down from the Swargaloka, he first comes in the form of rain, then becomes vegetable and grains, then he gets the body. So for us also, we get directly human form, or we have to go through the process so that someone will eat it, then conceive us like that. We have to become vegetables and all that.
No, bro. As Krishna will take care. He knows what type of body is good for us. We may not go to that processes. Many devotees, Krishna will directly send us to another devotee's family so that we will continue from where we left. So we need not worry so much about it. Because he promised Yogaksham Vahamyam. So he knows what is good. Because we don't need other, if he feels that we need to take birth in another species, and generally it does not happen for devotee, exception Bharat Maharaj or some even Saubari Muni and Yudhishthir Maharaj, all these three cases where Yudhishthir Maharaj made a mistake of gambling or Saubari Muni fell, even Bharat Maharaj falling, according to Laghu Bhagavatamrita, all three were orchestrated by Lord only, so that till now we are learning the lessons from their mistake. So teach all of us. Lord said, I want to utilize you. They said, yes, my Lord, we are ready. And Lord use their examples. So now also how much every new devotee comes, we give in the 6 sessions or sometimes we give Bharat Maharaj stories. Now Bharat Maharaj is preaching till now because of, and he is happy to be an agent of Lord in teaching all of lessons. So these are lessons to make us little cautious, but it will not happen to devotees because Swalpamapyasa Dharmasya Trayate Mahadavaya. Lord is promising it will not happen.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare.
Yes, Krishna.
So, Prabhuji, yesterday we were attending His Holiness Jayadutt Swami Maharaj's Bhagavatam class, and one devotee asked similar question about austerity. So Maharaj said that Prabhupada has never recommended this, and even the previous acharyas have not recommended this austerity path of Dandvat Parikrama. And then he also mentioned that there are many devotees who do chaturma, growing their beards and all. So that was also not recommended by Prabhupada. He said that Prabhupada only said chant and hear, just chant and hear what he was saying. And then he was mentioning that austerity is also in three modes. Austerity in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So he's saying austerity in the mode of goodness is that you chant nicely in the Brahma Muhurat. That is the austerity in the mode of goodness. And all these other austerities, he quoted Bhagavatam verse from 17th chapter. And then he's saying this is all in mode of passion and ignorance. But we have to do what Prabhupada has said, austerity in the mode of goodness. So this is just what I heard just yesterday. I'm just repeating Prabhuji that.
Yeah, that is, there is no shortcut. We have to sit and consciously sit here, consciously understand logically Bhagavatam. That is the only way, no shortcuts. Yeah, by doing Dandot Parikrama or doing Chaturmas, we cannot make it unless we have consciously chanted. These are all some shortcuts. Yes, we'll end here. Gaurang Gopi Mataji, you have something?
Finish, Prabhu. I asked you. Finish. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you all very much. I thought we'll complete till 10th. We'll continue from here. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srimad